Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to episode 2 review of Castlevania. And I have to say, this was not as good as the first one, in my honest opinion. So we're gonna get to that in the future. But for right now, I'm gonna give you what are my overall thoughts on it. Like I said, it was not as good as the first episode. The first episode was action-packed with Dracula setting the place on fire. Towns of pools of blood raining, raining blood, pouring down dead bats and demons, just killing people left and right because of what happened to his wife and everything. That was the perfect explanation of giving his character for what's to come in the season. But I feel like this episode left off because Belmore, he was being a douche, being drunk as a skunk, starting fights, and the fights in this episode was pretty good. I'll give him that. But I felt like the rest of the episode felt kind of boring. It wasn't your typical Castlevania series that you would hope for. But he ends up walking out of a bar, puking his guts out. Next day he wakes up, goes through this pipe just because he heard somebody scream. Then we cut to a scene where there's two priests that were evil picking on an old guy, and he stopped the situation with his whip and snapping one of the priest's thumb off, and the whole fight broke out. And that's when this whole thing was kind of solved the problem, I guess, when it comes to Belmore. The old guy was thanking him, but he didn't realize that he had to use violence to stop the situation. And the whole thing could have gotten worse if one of the priests didn't threaten to stab him with the cross knife or whatever you call it. Then we cut to a scene where they were walking and he shows Belmore the house that they live at. And they talking about, how Dracula is gonna bring his army of forces to do whatever it is they can to destroy the people and his place in general. There was a moment where Belmore had an interesting development where he mentions his people, his family, for Dracula on their own terms. And he kind of felt like he didn't know what to do at this point. He just didn't have a care in the world. Because knowing how his personality is, it kind of makes sense of why he was like that in the first place. You just didn't care. They try to tell him, look, you can't do everything on your own. You're gonna need help. And he just didn't have no sense or care about what people are trying to tell him. It's like his soul was just not there. His soul was gone. He was just a drunk, depressed, miserable human being who, I mean, he's pretty much like the anti-hero of this episode. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 2 of Castlevania season 1. Like I said, not as good as the first one, but I think the third one should be better than this one. So let me know what y'all thoughts on this. Did you see season 1 of Castlevania? And if you did, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in my third episode review of Castlevania.